Hello everybody, EJK here. Uh, I'm watching Pro League right now, and I figured why not do... Okay. Huh. Okay. Anyways, no, not it's not Pro Liga, it's Kespa Cup. And it's Dream versus True on Cactus Valley, we see. I just watched True absolutely destroy Dream, and I listened to the commentary for about 3 minutes before I had to turn it off because of the number of wrong things that one of the casters, at least, was saying, and just the lack of even just what they were saying even showed that they have not touched the new maps at all, which is really sad for me because they've been out for a couple weeks. Like, if you play ladder, then you should know what the maps are kind of like by now. They've been out for a while now. Anyways, True had an amazing game one. Very, very scary looking strategy. And this is game two. He's already going for the drone scout. Very safe, going cross positions. The proper way to drone scout in TVZ is to go cross positions and to go past the watchtower like that, because the overlords will go to the other two positions. And so True sees the overlord scout. He knows exactly what's going on, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Knowing this as a Zerg player allows you to adapt about as humanly fast as possible to this CC first economic opener from the Terran player. That drone being really annoying as well. It's very worth it to be very annoying with the drone like that. Not only does it force a couple SCVs to be pulled, neutralizing the time a little bit that the drone took to the base and that it's not mining as well. It also is a mental game as well, because it can really get under your opponent's skin if you just constantly harass with the drone. Because it really, it's the only word I can describe it is hell of annoying. So, True has opted to, as we see here, he's opted to go for a very fast layer. I was about to say he hasn't gotten speed yet, and it's been enough time so that we get to see what his reaction is going to be, and we saw a fast gas and a fast pool instead of a fast third base. And I think very fast layer builds somewhat counter standard macro Terran play. What Dream did last game was a triple Reaper opener into a 3cc, and he got a starport, but he just made a Viking. And against that kind of play and double eBay play, I think fast layer builds can be very strong. As we'll probably see here again, because Dream's going for a starport. And there's nothing really you can do as the Terran player to punish this at this point. This is just... True is allowed to be this greedy, drone up as fast as humanly possible, get an extremely fast layer, and then get speed and just play extremely, extremely greedy. As we see here, Dream scouting with the two Hellions shows that he had not SCV scouted his opponent at all. He now only sees what True is doing, and this could mean a number of things. It could mean an all-in, most likely not, because it's out of the current metagame, because he didn't see the third base. But more importantly, it gives Dream a lot. I think Dream is going mech as well, getting those two gases really fast, so that'll be interesting to see how that... Oh, no, just kidding. Yeah, so I think it'll be very interesting to see... I was saying, taking a delayed scouting like that isn't necessarily always good because of the fact that you get a slower reaction to what your opponent is doing. Like, you see that third base slower. You see, like, if Dream scouted faster, he would have been able to see if his opponent had gotten a gas or not. And seeing that information earlier on would have narrowed the amount of things that Shrew could do down very much. Oh my. Losing these two Marines here is gonna suck. That's two, like, Dream's only making barrack, or he's only making units out of one barracks right now, and there are 5 Mutalisks on the way. And this was like a 5-minute layer, so these Mutalisks are gonna come very, very fast. I don't think Dream has completely identified exactly. No, he has. He's gotten the turrets. Okay, so he knows what's going on. He guessed it as much based on what Shrew did the last game. And just because it's cross positions, a 2-base all-in is very improbable and would most likely be really easy to hold. And he only made the 1 Banshee. You usually make 2 Banshees if you see a 3rd hatchery before layer, but if it's a layer before a 3rd hatchery, then you usually make just 1 Banshee without cloak. Okay, so what we saw here is Dream has 3 Vikings, so that's going to be able to deal with the Mutalisks pretty well. I like that reaction by Dream. Now, of course, oh gosh, Roach Warren. So it looks like Shrew might be going into the Dark Style, the very late Roach Warren, and I'm pretty sure he scouted that it's mech. I think Dream scouted it, and so Shrew canceled the Roach Warren, perhaps? I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. Okay, but this play makes a lot more sense, because when you rush out fast Mutalisks like that, you generally don't have enough money to get Roach tech and Roaches, and to have a healthy Baneling count. So, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, taking a look at Shrew's build, one thing, probably the most prominent part of his build is that the 10 Mutalisks are very fast, and they have a lot of harassment opportunity available to them at the cost of upgrades and economy. So Shrew had to sacrifice a lot of his upgrades. His 1-1's only a little more than halfway done, whereas Dream's 2-2 has already started. So as long as Dream doesn't take too much damage, he is still in a good spot. Ooh. These Mutalisks are being extremely annoying, but this is a good counterattack. That counterattack by Shrew meant that he's going to have a few less units at home, but this is cross positions, and Baneling speed finishes up just in time. Shrew's timings are very on point. I think he should be fine here, yeah, because the Injects, he has 3 hatcheries, he's getting his 4th. I don't believe he has a macro hatchery. I think his 4th base is his macro hatch right now, or is what his macro hatch would have been at this point, which I like by Shrew. It's a good move by him to improve his economy further. And oh geez, 7 Mutalisks on the way by Shrew, but he still has enough gas to make some Banelings. He has no Banelings right now though. A big misplay on his part. I don't quite know what he's doing right now. I think he thought he defended the attack, but Dream didn't slip up on macro, and he's keeping the pressure going on, and so... Or, actually, I'm completely wrong, and Shrew instead cleans this entire push up, because... No, he only has 10 Mutalisks, though. Okay, so I think he lost a couple... Yeah, he just lost a crap ton of Mutalisks there to clean up that push. So that was a mistake on Shrew's part to make a lot of those Mutalisks. He misread the situation and thought Dream was done pushing, and so he made a bunch more Mutalisks. That was a very greedy move instead of making Banelings, and as a result he paid for it. All is fair in the world. Dream is supply blocked though at 137. There's been a lot of action going on, and he only has... Okay, now he has a couple more depots on the way. He's taking his 4th base as well. Good move to do when you're supply block like this. Oh my gosh, 2 more depots. He's been at 137 since the attack at Shrew's 3rd, the 2nd attack, when Shrew was making a bunch of Mutalisks instead of Banelings. This is a pretty hefty supply block, but as long as he keeps his upgrades going, and he's still solidifying his lead by taking that 4th base, so the supply block is okay. Ooh! Ooh! That was a nasty Widowmine shot. Another good Widowmine shot there. Good drop by Dream. So, all of this is happening pretty much as a result of Shrew's opener being scouted out by Dream early enough for Dream to get a reaction with the early Vikings. Shrew's Mutalisks weren't able to get nearly as much damage as they needed to like prevent Dream from having this big of a, oh my gosh, that's a big army. And then that was probably a game-ending mistake right here. Or a couple minutes ago when Shrew didn't make those Banelings and he instead made those Mutalisks, because he ended up trading Mutalisks for the bio instead of Banelings for bio. Very, very expensive to hold. And now Shrew's in a very desperate situation. Going for the counterattack is good, but it's kind of a desperation, because as the Terran player, you can lose this, but you're still going to win the fight at home, I believe. He should, because of how far ahead Shrew, or how far ahead Dream is in upgrades right now. But those Widowmine shots weren't as good as I had expected. So the push gets kind of cleaned up. That was a good flank by Shrew, though. If he didn't have that flank, the push would have been... Oh my gosh. That push would have been a lot harder to hold. And now Dream's actually in a rough position, because he's lost all of the SCVs as natural. Okay, but he does have the 4th base up in mining, which is good for the Terran player, and he was able to get the 3rd base as well. So he is down in a lot of workers, but he's in a good spot because he is trading out while excuse me, while getting towards the 3-3. And Shrew's not going to be anywhere near his 3-3 because his upgrades were just so late, and now he's gotten into the mid game with like just making the Banelings, getting the 2-2, and just trading. He's gotten to that point so late that I believe Dream's attack is done right now. His armor started a little bit slower. Oh my gosh, but they didn't show his push getting cleaned up. And that was really greedy by Dream not having a turret there. He's going to pay for it a little bit. That's a very large Mutalisk count, but it's not enough to start to wreak way too much havoc on the bases. If Dream just plays defensively right now and he remakes his SCV count, he should be in a good spot. What Shrew is doing is he's building up his Mutalisk count. He has no intention of going to a hive. Well, he can't really because of the fact that he's only on 3 bases still. Dream is pushing out now, but now's not a good time to push out. Rather, I'll rephrase that. Dream is pushing out now, but what benefit does he get by pushing out now rather than waiting until he's closer to maxed? Because Shrew's just making Mutalisks, and okay, I guess that answers my own question. Shrew's making a lot of Mutalisks, and so, oh my god, that Widowmine shot. He's making a lot of Mutalisks, so pushing out now, even if this army gets cleaned up here, Dream's still going to take a relatively good trade, even with all of this counterattack shenanigans going on, because of the fact that Shrew keeps making all those Mutalisks. And he gets a base for his efforts as well. So even though Shrew's doing all of this damage, it's great damage and it's keeping him in the game for the most part, he's falling further and further behind, because every trade he takes, no matter where it is, Dream's 3-3 is already done. And he's just rallying units across the map as well, because he knows that Shrew's going to run out of units eventually, and the Mutalisks have already been pushed back essentially. So Dream's going to be able to close out this game with only 34 SCVs. Wow. But 3-3 is just 3-3 is just when you win every single fight, and there's not really anything the Zerg player can do. The only thing that the Zerg player could have possibly done was do enough economic damage so that you can't keep producing this many units at a time, and so that you can like slowly take not good trades, but you can still kind of trade out because the Terran player is a smaller army. This was a very important push timing by Dream, these constant pushes throughout the entire game, because if True was able to get his Mutalisk count going, cross positions Cactus Valley, this would have turned into a very, very scary, just heavy harassment style game, and Dream would have started to get in a pretty rough position. Like, it gets pretty hard to move out when Mutalisks are on your side of the map, just constantly killing shit. And I'm going to cut the video now, and then I'll restart it in the next game, so we don't have that much downtime. So see you guys in a bit.